Ex-President Goodluck Jonathan demands immediate cessation of off-cycle elections. Why is it demanding cessation of off-cycle elections? Is it because of malpractices? But even in the main election that brought Tinubu in, it was worse. So rigging is a behavioral thing. We need to change, find a systemic way of changing individual behaviors. But whether it is off-cycle or not, the same corrupt INEC is the same corrupt INEC. The same corrupt politicians are the same corrupt politicians. So whether it is conducted on cycle or off cycle is not the issue here. It's about our behavior. And it's actually our behavior that created this off cycle matter, because it has to do with I no agree. So elections are being reorganized and all of that. And that is why off cycle came in. If not, by 1999, when we returned to Third Republic or so, there was no off cycle, the former leader, accompanied by his wife, Patience, arrived at polling unit 39, Ward 13, Otuke, Ogbea local government area of Bayelsa State on Saturday morning. He called on the National Assembly to take steps to halt off-cycle elections, including the ongoing one conducted by the Independent National Electoral Commission in Bayelsa, Kogi, and Imo State. Expressing his apprehension about off-season elections, Jonathan emphasized that they deviate from global best practices. Expressing his apprehension about off-season elections, Jonathan emphasized that they deviate from global best practices. Referring to his expression in 2007, Jonathan mentioned that there was almost an off-season presidential poll when he contested as a running mate with President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua. It was prevented. So the ex-governor of Bayelsa urged the Nigerian Assembly to intervene, stating, "I get worried by the issue of off-season election." This writer is calling Jonathan an ex-governor of Bayelsa State. This man is an ex-president of Nigeria. And I use this opportunity to plead with the National Assembly that we need to block these off-season elections. It is very odd. It is not a global best practice. So if we continue with this trend of off-season elections based on the interpretation of our laws by the judicial officers, it will come to a time when the presidential election will be off-season as well. Look at the American system. Everybody knows when the American election will be conducted. So Jonathan, Goodluck Jonathan is not canvassing for INEC to stop off-season or off-cycle elections because they are not pure. They compromise a lot. All right. So our election will remain being off-season because politicians have made election a matter of do or die. If a gubernatorial candidate is declared winner of an election and he is sworn in, another opposition candidate can challenge the exercise, and if he succeeds in the court, he is sworn in, replacing the former governor, and his 4-year tenure begins from the date he is sworn in. So unless and until sincerity is infused into our system of elections, off-season elections have come to stay. That is our statement. That one is serious. But that is true as long as elections are being challenged in court and potential winners are being disqualified and potential losers become the winners, there will always be off-cycle election. You can't stop that. Because when I swearing in the new one, his 4 years tenure starts from the day he is sworn in. And someone is saying it won't be if they do like National Assembly, like those court has sacked from Senate, and those they declared winners, they won't conduct a different election for them. That is the reason you will hear 9th Assembly. Wow. I say, were you not the one that hugged Jagaban when he took election. Definitely, it is right. Something has to be to stop this off-season election. Isn't a beast. Isn't a beast practice. I think it was only in Nigeria that is being practiced. Okay, wow. The way things are going, I'm telling you, this off-season election is also a problem of its own. But then you can't stop it. It has come to stay. As long as elections will be challenged, and as long as there will always be winners and losers from court and tribunals, okay, this off-season election cannot stop. You just can't stop. That is it. So right now, Goodluck Jonathan is now asking for off-cycle elections or off-season elections to be cancelled and to be stopped. The question is, what is giving rise to off-cycle and off-season elections? We need to start from there. And again, who and who, or who and who. Okay, so the way it is now, it is quite obvious that the off-season election cannot stop. A lot of people have heard their views. It is quite obvious. Even Jonathan, they've not been able to give us a solution to implement to avoid off-season election. There must be a mechanism on ground to handle the circumstances that are giving rise to off-season election, such as contesting election outcome and going to court. Okay, are they going to revise the policy in such a way that even if you go to court and win, your 4 years must not start from the day you have been sworn in? Because that's actually the reason we're having a lot of backlogs and a lot of off-season election. It's quite an unfortunate situation that it has come to stay as long as election outcomes have been challenged. So that is Jonathan's own perspective, and I just hope that we'll hit a common ground one day and everything will be planted in the right way.